All right, so welcome. If this is your first time to our success meetups, you are in a great spot. If you are watching the recording, we do post these onto YouTube after we're done. And if you want to register to come live, you can definitely do that. Just click the QR code that you're seeing right on your screen. That will take you to a place to register to attend these in the future. If you're already within KV Core, you can click on the live training calendar, and that will take you to a calendar and you can sign up there. So here we have a success meetup tip, trick, and Q&A. Click here to register. I can register for one session. I can register for all of them. I can also find the YouTube channel up here. So that's another way. We do also post both the upcoming topics on the Facebook group every Friday for the next week. And then we also post the recordings in here. So if you need to find the recording from the previous, you can find them in here. So all kinds of ways to get the information. So these are taught by the trainers and the success services team, and we usually have 30 to 45 minutes of content prepared for you, and then we open it to a Q&A. Feel free to start sending in questions now. So if they aren't related to this topic, we still try to answer them all. We just do the on-topic ones first and then open it into everything. Throw them in the Q&A, throw them in the chat, whatever is more comfortable for you. I'm also going to go through quickly and change it so you can unmute yourself, but don't feel like you have to. I do ask that you pay attention to your own background. So if it is like noisy or if you're having another conversation, please leave yourself muted. All righty, and away we go. So today's topic is different ways to send listings to your contacts, because there's actually a lot of ways to send listings to your contacts within KV Core. So they kind of break down into two sections. There's automated, which is search alerts, which that's pretty straightforward. We won't spend too much time on that today because we have a lot of training on that already. And then there's manual. So that's where we're going to spend most of our time today, is how I can manually send specific listings to my contacts. So we're going to use a lot of different tools today. We're going to talk about search alerts briefly. We are going to also look at our dashboard and how that can be really helpful. We're going to spend a lot of our time in the listings tab. So if you haven't been there yet, good resources there. And we'll also use our filters of our CRM and our playbook, how to promote a listing. So those are kind of the tools that we're going to talk about today. So in KV Core, first, let's get that automated kind of out of the way. Search alerts. Search alerts is a way to automatically send specific listings to your leads and to your contacts. And we have a full webinar that we've already done on how to add search alerts. So I am going to put that into the chat. That is available on our YouTube channel. Every way to add search alerts. So that's already in there. So we're not going to kind of revisit that too much. So search alerts, just real quick, so we'll do a little bit. Search alerts are the way to automatically send listings to your leads. Each lead can have 2 search alerts. So the way KV Core works is most new leads who look at properties when they register are going to enter KV Core with a search alert that already attaches. That does take 48 hours to attach. So if you got a new lead yesterday and you go and look at their record and there isn't one, no worries. You can always add one. You kind of wait. The idea is lots of times people look at properties that they don't intend to buy, right? And so we give you kind of like leeway to get in there and have a conversation about it. Hey, do you actually like this property? Like, do you want alerts based on this property or other criteria? So we give you kind of a leeway to get in there and send them something different. Okay. So that's why the 48-hour wait period. So if I have a new lead, so if I just narrow down to new lead here, I haven't had one in a while, so let's just see what pops up as I think about it. There we go. Yeah, so Jen's email, Jen, 2 months ago was a buyer, came in directly from my website. We have a property interest. This person will already, excuse me, already have search alerts set up for them, right? Or will in that 48-hour period because we know what their property interest was. This person, we weren't able to get that criteria. Maybe they just asked a question about a property. So, we didn't get browsing data. Maybe there was a bug, right? But most of the time, our new leads will come in with browsing data that through KV Core. If you have outside lead sources that you connect, it depends on the outside lead source that you utilize. Some of them do, some don't. So it is a good best practice to look at your leads and just make sure they're on search alerts. So if I look at Jen here, I can see my search alert on the right-hand side. I refer to my right-hand side as like the action center. On the top, these are the actions. The actions that you can take, like I can call them, I can send them an email, I can send them a core video. Like these are the things that I can do. And as I scroll down, these are the things that KV Core will do automatically for me. So I have my search alerts. Jen is getting one alert. It's active, so things are being sent to her. It's a single family in Oceanside around 396. Okay. So if I click on that alert, I can see the alert and I can also set up a second one. So people can be on 2 different alerts. They can also set themselves up on alerts manually. So if I Jen is on one alert and then she goes to my website and wants a separate one, she can make her second one herself, or I can do it for her. This brings us to one way to send listings to your leads. Maybe Jen reached out and was like, hey, there was this property that was like clearly a fixer upper, came in like the last week or 2 that you sent to me. Can you resend me that property? Okay, so I go to their search alerts and I can view their results right here. So just glancing, this one is probably the fixer upper. So I could look at that and I could, oh, this person's unsubscribed. Let me just resubscribe them real quick. Oh, just texts. Okay, go. All right, now it's all me, it's all fake. So that's why I just went ahead and did that. But so I've got all of the results here. So I can email a link to these recent results. It'll be the 5 most recent. So email recent results. There's a link. I do not want to edit these links. I'd probably change the subject, like which of, or, the fixer upper is likely one of these, right? Subject line for them. I would definitely put something else in the email, but this link, when I send it through, will send her a link to just those properties on my agent website. So she can see like specifically what it is that she was looking for. I could text her a link as well. That text would also include a link that's like just those specific listings. I could copy a link, which again would copy all of these. Now, if I want to send just the one, I clicked on the one individual listing that I want to send her, and it's going to take me to my listings tab of KV Core. And there's lots of ways to send listings from within the listings tab. I'm going to do a deep dive on this and how to use this in just a minute, but I did want to show you kind of how you can get there. Let's do one more example. So if I look up someone that I know has just like a lot of search alert history, my lead Jenna, and I go to her alerts, right? So here are her most recent results. So I'm viewing all, I can see them from here. So she's like, oh, no, it was like 2 weeks ago that you sent it to me. Okay, well, these are the recent results. We're seeing that right here. So if I click view all, it will actually take me to my agent website and it will have me view all of the properties that I've been sending her, and it's showing me days on website. So like the newest thing is going to be on the top of my list here. So I could just go to page 2 and kind of cruise through there. Okay, she said it had a red door. Yeah, scroll till I find a red door. So that kind of a thing. And then once I find a listing from here, I can like share it this way, or I can take the MLS ID and use that in my listing section to find a property, find this property that she might be interested in, right? She said, okay, oh, it was the property with like a watermelon pool float. So I found it. I take that MLS ID. I'm going to go back into my listings tab and send her just that one single property. Okay, so this is like working off of what she's already being sent in the search alerts. How can I kind of like go back and revisit those? Yeah. Erica asks, when you turn off an alert, why does it still show up on the contact record page and it stays highlighted still in blue? So when you turn off the alert, yeah, it's still going to show up, but it does show that it's inactive. Right, so now she has an active search and an inactive search. It's that way you don't have to recreate the wheel. Like, and maybe she's like, oh, I'm going out of town. Can you just like slow it down while I'm out? Sure. I'm just going to make it inactive and then I don't need to redo it when I come back. If I did that, I would definitely make a task for myself. Hey, so and so's back in town, check in, restart search alerts, restart smart campaigns, all that good stuff. So it just is there. So that way you know. And also, like, you still want to keep that history. Like if you have like 300 people in here that are prospects, you're not going to remember what search they were on and all that kind of stuff. So, you might look at a lead a year from now and say like, why the heck were they getting all these emails from me when they don't have a search alert over here? Right? Well, it's because they had one, you just made it inactive. So good question and great call out. I wouldn't have brought that up. So thank you, Erica. Excellent question. Let's see. Andrew, I do see your question. I'll hold that to the end. So good call, good call. Okay. Anonymous, what's the difference in sending listings to clients through KV Core versus the MLS? Great question. Couple things. One, you get more consumer insight if you send them listings through KV Core than through the MLS, meaning I can look at Jenna's timeline here and I can see, apparently she hasn't opened anything in a while, if she's opening my emails, right? Or at least something has opened this email, whether it was her spam check or whatever. At least I know this is a valid email. She's opening this. Now I can also see if she's looking at properties. So I'm getting that kind of consumer insight. So, that one's kind of a red door. Anyway, so I can see what she's actually looking at, right? And actually clicking on my website. That brings us to kind of point number 2. It's keeping them engaged with me. If I'm sending them search alerts through KV Core, if they have a question about the property, they can just ask me right from here. They can request a showing. Of course, they can text me and do those things if they're actually my client, but they can't really do that on the MLS. If someone is your actual client, then hopefully they have a question and they bring it to you. So like if you're just getting started, and someone is actually your client, like you've signed a buyer broker agreement or closest thing to it wherever you're at, then you could put them on the MLS for searches or through here. It doesn't really, the MLS is going to be a little bit quicker, to be honest with you. But if it's like prospects, new leads, even active leads, so people that are not yet my client, I would always put them on search alerts in KV Core, not the MLS, because it keeps them focused on me and in my area. So I can then also, okay, I'm here looking at this property. Let me get to know my agent. Oh, I didn't know that they blog. Are they adding anything of value? And I'm building trust, right? So it just keeps them focused back on me. And finally, probably my favorite thing is two automation pieces that I can think of off the top of my head that are really designed to kind of like show you this is the person you should be talking to. So the biggest one is behavioral alerts. So behavioral alerts slash behavioral automation is where KV Core is tracking, okay, who is looking at what property, who is saving properties, right? All these things that are important to know, but you don't really like, if you have the bandwidth to sit on your KV Core dashboard and like count how many properties someone has looked at, you don't lovingly, you probably don't have enough leads. Go get more leads, go get more people to talk to, then sit there and kind of count. So behavioral automation is where we tell you, okay, this person has been like kind of browsing. Now they're doing something hot, right? Now they are, coming back to your website after 14 days. Now they are viewing 5 properties in a day. Now they've viewed 10 properties this week. So we alert you to that behavior and we reach out to them while they're thinking about you and real estate. So this is the main reason why you would put search alerts on your clients or on your contacts in KV Core rather than the MLS. Again, if someone is actually your client, so they are working with you for sure, this isn't really as relevant. But if it's those active leads, new leads, prospects, absolutely 100%. I'm putting them on search alerts in KV Core so that way these behavioral alerts can be functioning and running in the background. The other reason is daily call creation. So daily call creation is what I also call Christina Hampton's favorite feature in KV Core. That's me. I'm Christina Hampton. So daily call creation schedules calls for me to complete based on my lead's behavior and then my behavior. Like, are you talking to them? And so a lot of those interact with whether or not they've been viewing properties. So for example, let me put this into the chat too. Specific behaviors we look at. So if they have viewed properties in the last 6 months, but you haven't called them lately, you should call them. So we're bringing them front of mind for you to reach out. If they have triggered one of those hot behaviors, we haven't called them in a week, you should reach out. So those have to do with viewing properties through your KV Core site. So long answer is all of that. The short answer is viewing properties and being on alerts in KV Core just makes the whole system more powerful. There's going to be a couple other things that we look at today too. The more of your contacts that are on search alerts, the more powerful kind of a lot of this other stuff becomes. So really, really good question. Melissa asked, is there a way to have more than 2 alerts for a client? At this time, there's not. If you wanted to get like, I mean, you could make 2 profiles for one client, give them a different email in each profile. But the idea here is, again, helping them kind of narrow down what they're looking for. So talk to them about what it is that they want. Like, is it different price points? Is it different areas? Like, why do they, help them kind of figure that out? So it's a good question. And anonymous, your call and text feature work, we'll come back to that. Any text messages that you send through the computer, like I show you the computer, we also have an app, and everything I'm showing you through the computer is going to come through the KV Core smart number. And we have a whole webinar all about the smart number too. Okay, so that's leveraging search alerts that people are already on in order to send them listings. Right now, that example that we were looking at with Jen, where she was like, oh, it was a red door and I did a little bit of digging. That person, I already have a really established relationship. So not so much the behavioral alerts are that important for her because she and I are already working closely together. Now let's look at our dashboard. Right, on our dashboard, I can see who's actually looking at properties. So for today, I'm just gonna keep narrowing our focus. So I'm gonna look at our properties only, not all the stuff on the dashboard. But I can see, okay, my Wednesday lead looked at 2 properties yesterday, and Dan looked at a property a couple days ago, and Samantha a couple days ago. Now, I want to call out this flame and this heart. This heart means that Samantha favorited this listing. She liked it a lot. And Dan, his flame means that he is a hot lead. He has triggered 4 of these behavioral alerts at some point since he's been in KV Core. So that's something I'd probably take action on, just kind of like looking. I'm probably not going to do anything with. But Samantha here saved and favorited this property. So I could text her right from here. Hey, you might like this listing, and here's a link to the listing. I might email her from here. And again, here's a link to the listing. You can change this. I wouldn't change the link, but hey, I see you like this property. Like I could just tell her, what about that property is interesting to you? Right? So I could do something like that. I could look at the fact that they're looking at listings and I could interact with them in that way. Now I can also see that Samantha saved and favorited this property. And if I click on this property, it's going to take me to the listings tab within KV Core. There we go. Okay, so now we're in the listings tab. From here, I can then, so she favorited this property, right? I can look and see my activity. So this is which of my leads have looked at this. Okay, Samantha viewed it, what was that, 2 days ago? I created Samantha way back in November. I called her a little while ago. I could call her right from here. Okay. I can, and that's all because she's looked at this property. I could look at similar listings, right? So when I'm looking up similar listings, it has like really specific criteria that KV Core is looking for in order to decide, okay, this is a similar listing. So if it is a similar listing, it's going to be within 10 miles of this property. So it's going to be the same area, and it's going to be the same states. Like if it's near a state line, it's going to be within the same state. And then the pricing is also similar. So it's like between 75, so a little bit lower, and 125% of the original listing. So this one, we're looking at a rental, obviously, for about 2,700. So my price point is like 25% less, up to 25% more. And also has a similar visual style. And it's going to be built in the same time frame as well. So we time frame them in like 20-year chunks. So before the 50s, 50s to 70s, 70 to 90s, or after the 90s. So those are like the similar time frame. So she favorited this listing. I've already forgotten who she is. I'm looking at view activity. Samantha, there we go. Similar listings. So I'm going to say, okay, I already know Samantha wants to live in Oceanside. So I'm going to click all these other Oceanside properties. And I am going to send her this specific list of listings. I can email it to her. I can text it to her. I could also send it to like a whole list of people, a whole hashtag of people, right? So maybe I want to send this via email to my other renters in Oceanside. So anyone else I've ever given that hashtag to, I don't think I have anyone. No, I don't. So I can share this listing from within this listing. I'm going to look at what's similar and kind of like share those out with people. I could also add these to saved, right? So maybe she and I went and like looked at a couple properties, and that's how I know she just wants to live in Oceanside. So I'm just going to add all of those into Samantha's saved listings. And I can send her a comment, can send her a text, an email, or choose not to send her a comment because maybe we talked about me doing this, so add that in. Now, the benefit to saving a property for a client is when they go back to your KV Core site, it's going to be there on their list of saved properties. So let's see, let me see if I can't grab someone real quick. Mm, there we go. Okay, so, oh, Samantha. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so if I look at my KV Core website as Samantha, oh, might make me log in again. Yep, I've been in here and too many people. Okay. Well, when you log in as a specific person, or when a lead goes to your KV Core website, like through a search alert, they're going to be already logged in. And so, if I were to log in, pretty sure I remember, I don't know, you'll be able to see like their saved properties. So that's kind of the point of saving a property, is that they'll be able to, when they're logged in, they'll see their name up here, and they'll be able to like automatically see all their saved properties. I just have too many windows open, too many leads. So my computer's getting confused. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So that's one way to send listings to people, right? Look at a listing and find something similar and send them those listings. There's also nearby listings, right? Which is a little bit more straightforward. If something is nearby, so nearby listings are not going to be grouped in any other capacity. Like, it doesn't take price into consideration, it doesn't take size, it doesn't take, visual aesthetics, none of that. So you can see already, okay, here's a $6 million home and here's a $5,500 probably rental, right? So this is a rental that this person wanted. So I'm just going to click that rental. That's kind of the one that's here. And I'm going to text this listing to Samantha. If I spell Samantha correctly. There we go. Think you may like this listing. It's going to include a link. I don't need to touch this link. I just send it and it's good to go. And to call back what Anonymous asked earlier, anytime I send a text through the computer, it will come from my smart number. Okay. Now I can also send this specific property. Like, I looked at this property and then started sending some other things, but I can also look at this property specifically and send this. So I can send it via email to one person. I can send it via text to one person. I can add it to saved, which will again send them some info about that property. I can also email or text it to a hashtag. Reminder that hashtags are just groups of people. So again, maybe I do have a list of renters. So I'm going to email that to my renters. I don't have any, so just kidding. So those are other ways to kind of send properties to people, is from within a specific listing, send it via email or text to an individual, save it for them in their profile, email or text it to a hashtag, AKA a grouping of people. I can look at my similar listings, my nearby listings. Cool thing is I can also look at matching buyers from here. So of all of my contacts, who do I already know? Ooh, that might be interested in this property. So click on that and I can email them, text them. I could view this specific list of people in my CRM. I can check that out that way. So I've got lots of people who might be interested in this property. So pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, how do we set up criteria for listings for client through KV Core? So those are search alerts. If we have time, I'll definitely circle back and do that again. But we have a lot of training on setting up search alerts, and I did put in the chat at the very beginning a video on how to add search alerts. Let me also throw an article in here as well. And again, if we have time, we'll definitely circle back to that. Put that in the chat. There you go. Great questions. It's also saw in the questions, how can I add my clients into KV Core? So Sherry, you can add them individually or you can add them as a whole group. We call that the bulk import process. And so to add individually, you can use this quick actions button up here at the top and click add contact and add them from there. Or if you have a list of people to upload, you can go to the lead engine and you can do this bulk lead import. So top right. And then honestly, I would just let us handle it. And before that, I would schedule time for free to talk to a specialist. If I'm going to bring in a whole group of people at once, definitely talk to us about it. Read the prepare for your import, book time with a specialist. That's what I would do. So good question. Alrighty, so those are really the ways to send listings. Let me go back to listings. So another way to find properties in here, because what we did, we worked off of our dashboard and found a property and just clicked on the property. Right, I found, what Samantha had favorited. We started working off of there. We also looked at a view from within a lead detail record, right? So we looked at Jenna and looked at some searches that have been sent her way. Let's look at Olivia, might as well. And, I can do the same thing. Look at this property here, click on it. This will take me to the listings tab. But what about if we just start our day by going to the listings tab, right? We can find properties here as well. So I'm going to redo the video because someone asked for that. Throw that back in. Now, this is for everyone live. I'm putting lots of things in the chat. If you are watching the recording either on Facebook or on YouTube, look in the YouTube description. So down below the video, and there will be a document down there with all the links that I'm sharing out today. So live people, look in the chat. If you're watching the recording, look down below. There's a document down there that will have everything that we've shared today, so you can access it that way too. All right, so here we are in our listing section. And in our listing section, we can filter, right? So it's similar kind of organization structurally to your smart CRM. So all of your leads live there. All of the listings live here. Now, you will get the listings for the MLS that you are actually a part of. So one question we get here a lot is that there are listings missing from here. And I use air quotes on purpose because some of you have, I should have looked at the name. I think it's reciprocal data between MLSs, meaning that I'm a member of MLS 1. And because I'm a member of MLS 1, when I log into that MLS, I get to look at data from MLS 2, but I'm not actually a member of MLS 2. Okay. So when I log into KV Core, I only get access to the leads that I'm actually a member. Excuse me, I only get access to the listings of the MLS that I'm actually a member of. Those reciprocal relationships don't feed over into us. So that might be a reason why I put someone on a search alert through the MLS as opposed to KV Core. So it really is something for you to think about. I would put most people in KV Core. I'm going to put all of my new leads, all of my prospects, all of my active leads in here. And then when they get to the point where I actually know them, then I might move them to the MLS to be getting searches because it gives me a broader search, excuse me, and it is a little bit faster. So just kind of some of the differences there, but I'm going to put most people on KV Core. So I can filter for my listings here. So if right now I'm looking at all that I'm a member of, but I could choose to just look at my listings and scroll down to the bottom and apply that filter. And it's going to show just my listings. Or maybe I'm going to go back in here and do my agency listings. So that's my company, and apply that filter. Let's say that you don't have any of your own listings. So maybe you have a listing agent in your office that doesn't like to work with buyers, and you've already talked to them and they're like, you can promote my listing however you want, like landing pages, squeeze pages, you bring the buyers, that's fine. So maybe Yvette that I'm seeing here and I have that kind of a relationship. So there we go. So maybe I just want to look up all of Yvette's listings, right? So I can filter in those ways. I can also filter for different criteria, and I can layer all these things too. So I can look under a location, right? City, county, zip code. I could draw on a map if they want to live like a quarter of a mile from a school, for example. So if I want to draw that on a map, and where do I live? I live around here somewhere. There's a little school right there. So maybe I want to live here. That's a little further for, depends on who you are if that's walking. It's up to you. So I can apply that filter, bunch of listings, right? So the point is that you can filter to find specific listings that meet whatever criteria you want. You can also save these filters. So maybe this is near Poinsettia Park, and I save that filter. So now when I go to do a filter, it's here under my saved selection. So I just want to quickly see everything that's kind of like in my neighborhood. So, maybe you're working on farming a neighborhood. And so you might do something like this, like make this kind of like a hot sheet. Like I want to know right away any listings. Your personal neighborhood, I'd probably do that for too. I want to know if there is a listing in my neighborhood, I want to know that. So that might be something that I do. You could even, like I took that filter, but you could have these additional settings and you can add a quick link. So I did that with my company listings. So filters all saved will be here, and quick linked ones will get a little button up here at the top. There's already a couple buttons for you, like a manual and sold, things like that. But here's company listings in San Diego County. So here's all of those properties. All right, so this is all to help you find a list of listings you might want to utilize. So I'm going to go back. Why not just pick the ones near that cute little park? Okay, so now that I have a list of listings, I can send these out as well. I can also search. So if I know the property address, I think the MLS ID too. Let me just check myself. Oh, why did I pick one with so many twos? Let's pick a different one. There we go. Yep, okay, so it does also, MLS ID and property address would both qualify there. So now that I have my list of listings that I want to kind of like share out, let's see, can you use that to quickly see the homes you sold and see if they have sold with someone else? Yeah, because this is going to show, well, listed. This is going to be listed. Sold, not every account has sold data in there. It just depends on the MLS feed. So this is going to be a list of of sold listings if my MLS allows that data feed in. If you don't have this sold button here, you can reach out to support and see if sold data can be enabled for your account. Actually, whoever your admin is should do that. Send your admin to do that to enable sold data. Again, not all MLSs have sold data, but if you have it, it'll be there. So now that I have this list of properties here to kind of review, now I can share this list of properties. So I can hand select the listings I want to send, or I could just pick all the ones on this page. Note that the number of properties on the page is set by the columns here on the right-hand side. So I'm limited to 10. I can only do 10 per page. You can do like up to 250. You can do 50. There's some other increments in there that I used to have memorized, but don't. So we just do 10 for me on my account. So if I want to do everyone on the page, I click this little box right there, and that will select every single property on this page. Now I've selected what I want to send. Now I send it. So I can send it via email or via text to an individual person. I can also go to more actions and send it via email or text to a hashtag, the whole list of people. So if I'm going to email this to the buyers in my area, so buyers Carl, wow, that one. We're just going to that one. So I've got 3 leads I'm going to send this to, and I can send it out that way. So that will also work as a way to reach out to my people from there. So that's another way to send listings to people. Now, I do want to show you something that's kind of cool. So you can, again, it's going to give you this, it's going to autofill that link. So you don't need to add anything into that link. It's going to autofill as it sends because it's a merge tag. So you can kind of take this and like email it to yourself if you're in here as a lead, which you should be. But I'm going to look at, send that to myself. And then now I'm going to have like an actual link, which is kind of cool. So I could do things like that too. So those are all the different ways to send listings within KV Core. Sorry, that's my password manager. Go away. Why are you stuck? All right, so those are all the ways to send listings through KV Core. So now that we've done that, I'm going to circle back and answer questions. I've been answering related questions as we go, kind of saved some of the off-topic questions. So let's circle through those in my Q&A. So starting from the top, we've got Andrew. So actually, Andrew's on top. We're gonna go first. So not related. So regarding landing pages, using a custom photo, kind of sort of recall the photo has to have a link. Yes. So let's do a quick, yes. Yeah. So when you're doing a landing page, you do have the ability to, you are in charge of the background, right? So I build the whole thing out and I've got my background here. So we have like a whole list of people. This is the lady. I like the lady. She looks like she's thinking about things. The living room, sure, that's wonderful. This kitchen number 2, all kinds of things. You can scroll down to the bottom and add a custom background or do the primary image of a listing. So you see the MLS ID for that. So for example, you'll work. We'll just keep going with this one with the watermelon and pool float. Right, so I could take this MLS ID right here and go to my primary MLS image and paste that in there. Yep, so that'll work. Now, with a truly custom image, so the custom background, that is where you need the link. So I need a URL for that link in order to use it in here. So you can, anything that you have a URL for and you have permission to utilize, you can use. So you can like put your photos on Google Photos. You can put them on like Imager, IMGUR. You have like a really sneaky background way of like fake adding it to a blog post and that will host it and then put it in there. But yes, you are correct. If you wanted to put your own custom background image, you would want to, it does need to be like hosted online. So it has a URL. So yes, Andrew, you're absolutely correct. And Maria, sorry about that. How do I request a support phone appointment? So to talk to support on the phone, you do have to go through chat first and ask them for the phone number because we are not set up to be a call center. We don't have, because chat's a lot quicker to answer questions, but I get it. Sometimes I just want to talk to a person too. So you do have to ask chat for the phone number. And then you can make an appointment. If you don't want to wait at all, you could go to the marketplace. So again, free things take a little longer, you can always kind of jump the line. If you need support, depending on what you need support with, there are two options in here. So there's a help session, which is a little more like really basic. It's half an hour. That's it. It's over Zoom. It's a more of a like, how do I log in? How do I set up my profile? Like it's more the basics. But then we also have an hour-long coaching session, which is okay, if I make this landing page, how do I automate all the follow-up? And here's what I want that to mean. Okay, let's coach you and go through how to do that. Or hey, let's look at my business analytics together and see what holes there are in my business that we can kind of fill. How do we fill those holes? Let's talk strategy. So this is more coaching. This is advanced. The one-on-one help is more basic, a little bit more like tech kind of a support. Or to talk on the phone, you can just ask chat for the phone number and they'll give it to you. Yeah. Good question. Okay, going back to Anonymous, how does the call and text feature work in KV Core? So when you are calling or texting through the computer, that is all going to leverage the smart number. So the smart number is a digital phone number that is provided for you as having a KV Core account. So there is a free smart number that's provided to everyone. Everyone in the same office is going to share a smart number, or you can purchase your own individualized smart number as well in the marketplace. So you have those options there. Now, so any texting that goes through the computer is going to work through that smart number, right? So all the texts I've been showing you, text this person right here, they receive this text from the smart number. Now, you can also text and make phone calls through your phone, through the mobile app. Download the mobile app by clicking this button up here and text yourself a link to the app. You could get it from there. I am going to open my app. Ooh, and it is going to die. So I don't think I can get away with sharing my screen because it's going to die. But we did just do a video. Let me grab that video for us on the mobile app. I'm gonna put that into the chat. And again, if you're watching the replay, it'll be in the doc that's down below. So we did a full tour of the mobile app. In the mobile app, you actually do have listings as well. That's another way to share listings. I did that in that last video, how to share listings from there, but it's very, very similar. So if I have my listings and I text that list or that individual to my contacts, I can send listings through my mobile app as well. Yeah. So when I use the mobile app, my phone calls come from my cell phone, my texts come from my cell phone or my smart number. It's up to me. So it just kind of depends on like what number I want people to see when they reach out to me. Right. So good question. Completing calls and tasks. Joan, is there any way to filter criteria for market reports? Ooh, not at this time. So with your market reports, you can filter to see like who is on one and who is not on one. That's kind of it for filtering. Like, so you can see who's on a market report, who's not on a market report. Let me just do that really quick. So behavior, has a market report, because I want to show you what it looks like for anyone who hasn't seen it. Olivia, excellent. So on my right-hand side, my action center, she is on a market report for Tustin that goes every 7 days and a market report for this zip code that goes every 28 days. So I can search her timeline, either just like scroll and search, or I can actually search the timeline and type in market update. There it is. It went out on June 8th for the area of Tustin. I can even view the report that was sent to her. You can also kind of like reset the clock. Like if I want these to be on like the same, I can, I could edit it. So maybe I want them both to go every 28 days, or I can send now and send now, and it kind of, it'll reset the clock. So today is like day one, and then they'll kind of like fill out around each other. But yeah, that's what I can do when I look for like filtering for my market reports. A good idea if you wanted to like quickly pull up everyone with a market report in this certain area, you could add a hashtag. So I might do market MR for market report, Tustin, right? Although it kind of looks like Mr. Tustin won a beauty contest. Market report 92705. So I could do that. I could hashtag people so that way I could then, and that's a really good idea. I kind of like that. So if I have someone, on a market report, maybe they are or are not on search alerts, but I might go and find in this listing section, if I filter for the area of Tustin, apply that filter, and I might say, okay, that one, and then that one, and then go to more actions and email that to my market report of Tustin. Right, so that's definitely something that I could do. Yeah, I like that for sure. Yeah, like, hey, here's, since you're interested in Tustin, here's kind of like my favorite listing in Tustin this week, and kind of shown that, different things like that. Yeah, good question. All right, what other questions do we have today? Doesn't want to go to my next slide. That's fine. It was a thank you slide. Any other questions for me today? Awesome. Well, thank you for coming. You can register for upcoming sessions in the live training calendar, or by clicking on or scanning this QR code that will take you there too. To see the upcoming topics, we always post that in our Facebook group the Friday before. To see the recordings, we posted in the Facebook group as well, and onto our YouTube channel. So yeah. Next class. So the classes are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I tend to do Thursdays. So if you like me, I'll see you next Thursday. If I'm not your style, that's fine. Go to Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right? We kind of like, we don't have official days, but I tend to be Thursdays. Heather tends to be Wednesdays, and Marielle tends to be Tuesdays. We all have slightly different styles when we teach and train, different things that we'd like to teach and train on. We are always open to requests. So if you want like a deep dive on creating Facebook ads, that would be up Heather's alley. So I would, have request her to do a deep dive on that. Canva, we've done a bunch of things like that. So yeah, anything you want to hear about, let us know. The KV Core app is only for agents, and the 360 is for clients. Yes, correct. Correct. Yes, the KV Core app, the one that you get right here, download the mobile app. Yes, that is for agents. This is like taking KV Core with you on the go. Yep, you nailed it. It's exactly correct. Awesome. Cool. So Anonymous, the replay will be posted on the YouTube channel. Let me grab you the whole playlist. There you go. It's in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you're probably already there. And so it'll be posted there. See, it's Thursday, so probably early next week. It will also be posted in our Facebook group, so you can catch the replay there as well. Great question. All right, thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your day. Now go sell some houses.